Okay. So then I'll maximize this. All right, so I'm in Canvas here, and I just wanted to talk about the final project. And I'm going to click on it. I'm in student view so I can see what you see, because my version of Canvas looks a lot different a lot of times. All right, so although if you want to do it alone, you can. One of the things, just real quickly, I'll go off here. If you go to people and you go to groups, there are these final project groups, and you can join them, right? I let people join themselves. So you can just join if you want to work with somebody, just talk to them and figure out what group you want and join that. And as a group, you only need to turn in one. One person needs to turn it in, and I can grade everybody. Does that make sense? I actually would encourage working on it in a group if you can, because it's just easier. You can talk it out. I mean, you can do that even if you do it solo, but I won't force you to do a group, but the groups are prepared if you want to do that. So let's go back to the, I think, modules. So final project is basically, there's a bakery SQL script, which I'll do it in a second. I'll download and install it just to remind you how to do that. It's basically to do what you've just done, but with a slightly different database. All right. So I say these are the requirements, but I'm going to be a little bit loose on them. So just do the best you can, and I'll help when I can. A welcome page, right? Just modify the home for that. A page that shows the bakery products, and there's only like a dozen of them. So, just kind of like what we did with grant types or with the book reviews. There should also be a registration page for a new customer, so customers can register. A couple of things that are a little different there is I don't think I made any stored procedures for customers, so you just have to use the customer entity, right? Kind of like we did with review and things like that, rather than there's no stored procedure to insert them. There's no hashed passwords or anything like that. This one I'm going to be real loose on is a thing to handle the sales. That could be really complicated or really simple depending on how you do it. I mean, we didn't do anything quite like that. So even here, I'm going to be fairly forgiving. If you end up that each sale is only one product, fine. If you want to work it through so that it's more complicated, you're welcome to do that too. You got a couple of weeks. I think I would do it simple and then come back if you want to make it complicated. But that one is the one kind of wild card of a little bit harder. And then the receipt after the sale is basically, again, I'll be pretty loose on that. Just see what you can do with those. Those are the only two things I think that are a little bit different and challenging. And again, you want to add the menu, things to the menu. Maybe modify the about and contact. And again, those are just in the home folder. You can make very minimal changes there. And then ideally put it on GitHub and give me the link. That's my favorite way to do these. Yeah.
So you're going to be evaluating these code.
Pretty much, yeah.
My question is, I could build it off my home database.
Oh, sure. The link would be different. That's fine. Okay. What I would do if I had really serious doubts, and usually the code in this is pretty clear, except perhaps some of this auto-generated stuff, I would download it and run it. And if I had to, I could go change the connection strings. So, and I don't do that very often. It's rare that I look at this and say, I don't know if that works or not. It happens, but it's rare that I do that. Possibly the one place where that might happen is on the sale page. You might do something really clever and I'll say, I don't know, that might work. The other thing I could do is I can mock up my own project and then just substitute yours for that one page too. not usually will work. Questions, other questions on this? It's not meant to be super, I'm not trying to stress you out too much. I just want you to kind of rehearse what we've already done. Maybe rebuild, get a stronger sense of it. So it's worth 25 points, but as I said, if you just get it mostly working, I'll be pretty forgiving about some of the details. Questions? Any more questions? All right, and I can accept these up through probably the weekend before grades are due. So what do we got? 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? I'm not sure when grades are due for sure. I am going to San Francisco this break, so I can't do it much into the break, but yeah. But it gives you a fair amount of time. If you get it in sooner, I can give you feedback and you can fix things if you need to. But. All right, so let's look at the bakery script. And what I will do with this is I'll kind of rehearse getting it into the Visual Studio. Oh, come on, that's taking a while. All right, so this is the actual, the script for the bakery. It's another little table. My stepdaughter used to run a bakery, but it went broke, which is a fairly typical thing for a bakery. She has a restaurant now, which is doing much better. But when you get there, you want to do raw. Okay. Copy it all. So I'm doing Control A, Control C. And then I have Visual Studio open. I don't have an actual project running right now, but I don't really need one. If I go, let me zoom up for this. Ready to go. There it is. So if I go to the Server Explorer, and again, if the Server Explorer isn't there, you can always get it from the View menu. All right, come on, open Server Explorer. There it goes. Slowly, slowly it opens. We could do, right, this one has only got a masters is the only one that's saying it's open. If there's no data connection open at all, you can do right click, add connection. And you probably just want to connect with master, or if you've got another connection, you can just use it to get a query. So I'm just going to add the server name for me is ./SQL Express. And again, if you're doing it at home, it could be localhost. Could be if you named it, it could be the name of it. I am going to just choose master. You generally don't want to do anything with that, but I just want a query. Yeah, you don't need to do it. I'm just sort of repeating it in case you don't have it. All right, and I already had a link with master anyway, so I just recreated it. What we really want from it, why am I getting so much spinning? What we really want is just a query window. So I want a new query. And you can do this in SQL Server Management Studio if you'd rather. I was trying to keep you from having to move between environments. But come on, give me the query window. Boy, things are slow this morning in here. I'm so used to at home, things happen pretty quickly here. Someday. I haven't tried. Nose sensors can develop fully native Android and iOS apps. I haven't tried that in Visual Studio. I should try. I don't know whether they're using Java or they're using and Swift. I don't know what languages they're using. They seem to, they're adding Java support, so they must have got some kind of deal with Oracle. Although Android is not Java, technically. It looks and feels like Java, but it uses a different compiler, which has been the source of 5 years of lawsuits between Google and Oracle. Oracle says that Google violated the terms of the open source agreement because it looks and feels like Java, but it is not Java. All right, I was going to scroll up here, but you don't have to. Just run it. And when you get all these things that these different rows were affected, that's a sign that it worked. And so at that point, you have a bakery database in the database, and you can just build again, go through the same steps, build the entity model, build the different controllers and the forms.
So should we see it in our data connection?
No. So if you want to see it in the data connection, then what you have to do is probably add a new data connection. Same server. I have to spell it right. So you should see the bakery down here in the list of databases now. And now I should have a connection with it. And then if I open that, you'll see that there are tables. It's really simple database. Simpler than the others we've done. It's got employee, person, product, sale, and sale detail. Right? There's really not a lot there. So if you want to, employee has an employee key, person key, employee title, and employee status. Person has person key, last name, first name, email, phone, date added. Product just has a product name and a product price. The sale has the sale date, the customer key, and the employee key. The customer key actually should be a person key. I'm pretty sure that that's where it's linked to. And then sale detail, which has some discounts and stuff like that. Customer key links to person. I shouldn't have named it differently. Wasn't really aware I had, but I did. So it's a simple database, really pretty simple. And if you want, so there's not a lot of data in here either. I'm going to make a new query window. So if I do a real quick just tour, select star from employee. So there's what, 3 employees? If I do it from person, there's about 10 people. Product. So there's about 10 products. You can see I don't know if there's any existing sales. Let me see, select. There's 3 sales. And come on, it's not that hard to run that. Oh, it's because I hit the wrong thing. Go away. Just go away. That's because I hit the attach as opposed to the. So there's 7 sale details. So that's, I mean, that's sort of the database. Questions on that? It shouldn't be, I'm not intending it for it to be super hard. I just want you to, as I said, rehearse what you already know. And maybe play a little, explore a little. But I won't penalize you for exploring. And I'll help if you need. So again, this can be done individually or it can be done as a group. It might be easier as a group. It's up to you guys. Any other questions on that? If I go back to the actual assignment. There is a rubric on it, but as I said, I probably would I'll be loose on the sale and some of the others too. I put a lot more points on the sales stuff because it's going to be harder, but that doesn't mean, as I said, I'll be loose on it. All right. I think that's about it. You guys are ready to go to work or no? You have the rest of the quarter to finish this, and I can help you with it as you need. So quiet. You can also, finish up your other stuff. That's fine too. So. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video.